It's currently July and we're in the middle of a heat wave. What better way to cool off than with some refreshing fruit dip? 4 different flavors to choose from, all available on merrymacpodcast.com. Merry Mac Fruit Dip makes fruit taste good.
Hello and welcome to In the Kitchen with Mary Mac. On today's episode, I'm going to give you a full meal that you could use for maybe having friends over or a cookout, picnic, something like that. And it's 3 dishes that we have pretty often and we enjoy, so I think you'll enjoy them too. They're pretty simple. Well, 2 of them are pretty simple. One of them is a little bit more involved, and we're going to do that one first, and that is the Macaroni Salad. I wasn't going to say it, but I had to say it. I didn't know what to call it. It's just macaroni salad. I was trying to think of something to call it, and it popped into my mind. One of my friend's daughters, when she was about 4 years old, called me Mary Macaroni because she couldn't say my last name. So I always thought that was pretty good little nickname there. So that's what I'm going to call my macaroni salad, Mary Macaroni Salad. I make this pretty often because I like to take it to work for my lunch. So I really like macaroni salad. Next recipe I'm going to give you is for my sloppy joes, which are very simple and very good. I know a lot of people just don't eat sloppy joes anymore, but it's a good quick meal, especially if you're having a lot of people over or you're not sure when you're going to eat or whatever. The way I do this, I make it and then I put it in a crock pot so it stays really well. And that's the second recipe. And the third is just going to be a real quick and simple doctored up baked beans recipe. So here's the recipe for my macaroni salad. This uses I usually get a bag, or I can't think of the brand name, but I get a bag of elbow macaronis that is a 16-ounce bag. So I use the whole bag in this because I know a lot of times the big thing with anything that contains elbow macaroni salad, they tell you that you need 2 cups of macaroni or 3 cups of macaroni or whatever. And I'm always thinking there's a half a cup of macaroni left in this bag. It's ridiculous. I'm never going to use that. So I adapted this to work with the full bag. Now it does make a nice size bowl, but like I said, I love to take this in my lunch. So I'm sure if you have leftovers, hopefully you'll use them up. It's also a nice big recipe to take somewhere. So you need a 16-ounce bag of elbow macaroni, 2 cups of mayonnaise. I use typically the olive oil mayonnaise, but you can use regular mayonnaise, or you can use vegan mayonnaise and make this into a vegan macaroni salad too. So 2 cups of mayo, 3 tablespoons of cider vinegar, 1 tablespoon of regular old yellow mustard, 2 teaspoons of white sugar, a half teaspoon of salt, a 1/4 teaspoon of pepper. Those ingredients make your dressing up. So from the mayonnaise to the pepper, you put those into a bowl and mix them up. And then you're going to add to that a half a cup of milk or almond milk. And that is your dressing. Okay. Next, for the salad, you need 4 hard-boiled eggs. And you're going to use 3 of them in the salad and save 1 for a garnish if you want to. You don't have to, but if you want to. 1 cup of chopped celery, 1 chopped bell pepper, and you can use green, red, yellow, orange, whatever, or a combination of all the colors if you want to make it really colorful. So the equivalent of 1 chopped bell pepper. 10 scallion onions. That's the little onions with the green top. So 10 scallion onions. Chop with the tops chopped also about 4 inches up from the white of the onion. I usually go and I chop that up. Or if they're not available, you can use 1 small regular onion and just chop that up. And then you'll need 1 cucumber about 8 to 10 inches long with the seeds removed, and you just take a spoon and scrape them out. Chop that up. And you can either leave the skin on it or take the skin off, however you like to do it. And then 1 tablespoon of sweet pickle relish. Okay? So what you're going to do is cook your elbow macaroni first. Bring your water to a boil. Add the macaroni and stir it a lot because elbow macaroni sticks like crazy to the bottom of a pan. And you want to time this From the time you put it in, you want your elbow macaroni to cook for 7 minutes. I do not care what the bag says. I looked at a package of elbow macaroni the other day. It said cook for 3 or 4 minutes. It's like still hard then. Ugh. So anyway, cook them for 7 minutes. Drain and rinse with cold water to get the macaroni cooled off. And I usually put it in my colander and rinse it, and then I'll take a big spoon and kind of stir it around also to get them rinsed off real good and help them cool down. Now, you mix up your dressing of mayonnaise, vinegar, mustard, sugar, salt, pepper, and milk. Mix that up. And then this is how I do it. I will leave the macaroni in the colander to drain. And in the bowl I'm going to mix it in, I use a big bowl for this, I will chop up my hard-boiled eggs and put my chopped up hard-boiled eggs in the bowl with the celery, pepper, onions, and everything like that. Have that all in the bowl and ready. And then put the elbow macaroni in with it. And you can either use your hands with gloves on, put your kitchen gloves on and use your hands and mix that all up, or use a big spoon and mix that all up real well, okay? And then put your dressing on it. Use a rubber scraper to clean all the dressing out of the bowl that you mixed it in, and mix that up really well. I usually do this the day before I'm going to need it, or the evening before I'm going to need it, so all the flavors get a chance to meld really well. If you're going to garnish it, garnish your macaroni salad. If you like that, you can take one of your hard-boiled eggs and just slice it into thin slices and put that over the top, and then sprinkle it with paprika. If you're not a paprika fan and you don't care what the top of it looks like, because it doesn't look better, believe me, especially when I do it, it just looks like there's a bunch of hacked up eggs all over the top. So, however you want to do it. It's tradition. Hack the eggs up, throw them on there. So, however you want to do it, put it in the refrigerator, and you might want to get it out in about 2 hours and stir it up again and put it back in before you put those eggs on the top. Or if you didn't put the eggs on the top, it doesn't matter. But leave it in there, and then when you're ready to serve, all your flavors have combined. And it's really good. I really enjoy this macaroni salad. I had to play around for a while with this because I don't like overly creamy macaroni salad with too much dressing on it. And I don't like sometimes it's either like really sour or really sweet. I just like it just right. So I have played around with this for years, and I finally got it to where I like it. So this is it. This is Mary Macaroni Salad.
This is the definitive recipe.
So there you go. And that makes a nice big bowl. It makes a nice big bowl, but I suppose you could cut it in half if you want to, which it's very easy to do. It's a good recipe. Now, for the sloppy joes. Like I said, this could be all one meal. You could make this, all of the stuff you could make ahead. So easy. For the sloppy joes, you need a pound of lean ground beef, 1 medium-sized onion, chopped, a half teaspoon of granulated onion, a half teaspoon of granulated garlic, 1.5 cups of Heinz ketchup, accept no substitutes, and that is what's going to make your sloppy joes.
What if you really, really want to substitute?
Well, you can, but it just won't be as good. I like Heinz ketchup in this because of the Heinz ketchup has this like sweet tart taste, and it makes it really good. So whatever, do what you want, but that's what I recommend, Heinz ketchup. I know all the Pittsburghers will be behind me on this one. So what you're going to do is brown the hamburger I usually use about a 2-quart pot instead of a skillet. So brown my hamburger in a pot and then break it up in smallish pieces. They don't have to be microscopic, but what I do is I'll let it cook, and then I'll get my potato masher and start to break it up a little bit, And as it cooks along, I'll break it up until it's pretty well broken up, but not minuscule. Just there's probably chunks in there that are 1/4 inch, 1/2 inch chunks. And while it's cooking, you want to you put your ground meat in your pan and start it cooking, and put your chopped onion in with it, and your granulated onion, granulated garlic, and also I forgot to mention you're going to put about a 1/2 teaspoon of salt on this, and about a 1/4 teaspoon of pepper. Okay, and just let that cook until the meat is cooked really well. Then you're going to drain your meat you don't have to rinse it. I know a lot of people like to rinse ground beef off, but if you use lean ground beef, you don't need to rinse it. But just drain the meat well and then put it back on the heat and add your 1.5 cups of Heinz ketchup and stir. Okay? And you can add more ketchup if it doesn't look like enough, if you desire, but let that cook on very low heat for about another hour, just until it's nice and bubbling and whatever. And then you can either take it from there and put it in a crock pot on low and just let it be in there for when you're going to use it, or you can cool it, refrigerate it, and then use it the next day for, like what I do a lot of times is I will make it the day before or 2 days before I'm going to need it, cool it, put it in the refrigerator, and then when I take it out, I put it in a crock pot and put the crock pot on high to warm it up, and then after about an hour, I turn it down to low and just let it go until I need it. And it works really well to do that. And that is just, for as simple as it is such a good Sloppy Joe recipe. It's just very, very good. Everybody always raves about it, and it's like there's nothing in it. So that's it. Simple is better sometimes, I think. Well, most of the time, I think simple is better because it's easier for you to make, but it also just tastes good. It's nice and simple and delicious. Now for the baked beans, the best baked beans. I always use the vegetarian baked beans, largely because I really hate that chunk of floating lard that they put in to baked beans. I think that is so gross. So I get vegetarian baked beans. Bush's makes a very good vegetarian baked bean, okay? And you can do this. I just made them a couple days ago for something that I needed a lot of. You can use this recipe with a regular size, 15, 16 ounce can up to the gallon size can, okay? So you open your can of baked beans and drain off any liquid that's on the top that is watery. So a lot of times you'll open the can and there'll be like a 1/2 inch of bean juice or something. I'm not sure what it is, but I drain that off. Okay. And then I put the beans into a pan, an appropriate size pan for whatever size amount of beans you're doing. If I don't need them, like if I'm having something in the evening and I know I have like 6 to 8 hours, I'll do it in a crock pot. Okay. So for each 16 ounce or 2 cups of baked beans, you're going to need a 1/4 cup of regular, original flavor, Sweet Baby Ray's barbecue sauce. So all you do is you drain that bean water off and put the baked beans in a pan, removed from the can in a pan, and add the 1/4 cup of barbecue sauce to your can of beans. Mix that in well and cook on low. If you're doing it on a stovetop, you just cook it on low for like an hour with the lid off. You can put it in the oven in an oven-proof dish, do the same thing, and just bake it for like an hour at 350. If you're going to do it in the crock pot, it's going to take, depending upon how much beans you use, between 4 and 8 hours, And what I usually do is I'll cook it in the crock pot until it's bubbling really well. And then for the last hour, I just take the lid off the crock pot and let that extra moisture cook off. And then you get these really good, nice, thick baked beans, and it's very simple. So this is a meal like everything here. If you were having somebody over for, something, and you wanted to make a nice, simple meal, you could add like a tossed salad or a veggie tray to this or a fruit tray to this, and you're all set. You've got your whole thing. And you could do this like a day or two before. Any of this you could make a day or two before. And then just, heat your Sloppy Joes and your baked beans up. And, you have your macaroni salad in the fridge that you've been picking on for, the day before the party. So you should have enough left. This is really good. This is really good stuff. And if you're going to make a fruit tray up, you could get some Mary Mac fruit dip. And one of the 4 flavors that we make, which are mango, raspberry, orange, and lime, key lime, and you could have fruit dip, and because Mary Mac fruit dip makes fruit taste good. You could have that for your dessert too. So this is a nice little easy quick meal for you to, if you're stressing out about people coming over, this is it. And get some nice sandwich buns or slider buns, or you could even get a pack of Mary Mac white bread mix and make up some of your own buns and just have your, I like to do like a smaller, slightly larger than a slider bun, smaller than a sandwich bun for sloppy joes, just because, well, number one, it stretches them a little bit farther if you're having a few people over, but it's just a nice size. It's a nice size sandwich, and some people like them open face, so you put the meat on top, and that's how we used to have them at George Washington Junior High School. Open face sloppy joes. They fancied it up a bit. Made you feel all continental. So there you go. There's your nice little cookout meal, friend over meal, birthday party meal, whatever. So let me know what you think of that macaroni salad. I'm kind of proud of that one.
And make sure to check us out online on Facebook and Instagram at Mary Mac Bakehouse, on Twitter at Mobile Mary Mac and Mary Mac Podcast, and on our website, marymacpodcast.com.
Thanks a lot for listening if you did, and if you didn't, too bad for you.